Okay, so here's something wild. Did you know that the average person spends over 3 hours a day on their phone? That's almost 50 days a year just scrolling, tapping, and swiping.
Oh, wow. I hadn't thought of it like that. 50 days? That's a huge chunk of time.
Exactly. And yet, when you ask people why they feel so overwhelmed or stuck, the first thing they'll say is, I don't have time. But clearly, it's not about the amount of time we have, it's about how we're using it.
That's such a good point. So, if time isn't the problem, what is? Why do so many people feel like they're constantly running out of it?
It all comes down to control, or more accurately, the lack of control. Most people don't realise that they're not in charge of their own time. They're letting external factors, like work, notifications, or other people's demands, dictate how they spend their day.
That's so true. It's like we're constantly reacting instead of deciding. But how do you even begin to take back control of your time?
It starts with awareness. You have to understand where your time is actually going. Most people don't track it, so they have no idea how much of it is being eaten up by distractions or low priority tasks.
That makes sense. I mean, if you don't know where your time is going, how can you even begin to manage it?
Exactly. And once you have that awareness, the next step is planning. But not just any kind of planning, it has to be intentional. You need to decide in advance what your day is going to look like, focusing on the things that actually matter.
So, it's not about planning every single second, right? It's more about identifying your priorities.
Right? You don't need to micromanage your entire day, but you do need to figure out what's most important and make sure those things get done. Otherwise, everything starts to feel like a priority, and that's when overwhelm sets in.
That's such a good point. But how do you even figure out what your priorities are? I feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck.
It's simpler than you think. You just have to ask yourself one question. What actually moves my life forward? That question cuts through all the noise and helps you focus on what truly matters.
I love that because so much of what we do every day doesn't actually move us forward. It just keeps us busy.
Exactly. And that's the trap most people fall into. They confuse busyness with productivity, but they're not the same thing.
So once you've identified your priorities, what's the next step? How do you make sure those things actually get done?
That's where time blocking comes in. You assign specific blocks of time to the things that matter most, instead of just hoping you'll get to them at some point.
That's such a big shift. It's like you're saying, this is when I'm going to do this, and then actually sticking to it.
Exactly. Because hope is not a strategy. When you schedule something, it becomes real. It's a commitment, and that makes it much more likely to happen.
But what about interruptions? That's where most people lose control, right?
Absolutely. And this is where protecting your time becomes crucial. You can't just plan your time, you have to defend it.
So what does that look like in practice? How do you actually protect your time?
It means saying no to things that don't align with your priorities, reducing distractions, and setting boundaries. It's about treating your time like it truly matters, because it does.
That's easier said than done, though. A lot of people struggle with saying no or setting boundaries.
They do, because it requires discipline, and discipline is something most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. But without it, even the best plans fall apart.
So even if someone plans their day, they can still lose control if they don't follow through.
Exactly. Planning is just the starting point. Execution is what actually makes the difference.
And that's where the gap is for most people. They know what to do, but they don't do it consistently.
Right. The solution is to keep it simple. Don't try to control every second of your day. Just focus on controlling the key parts, your most important tasks, your focus time, and your boundaries.
So even small steps toward control can create momentum.
Exactly. And once you start to feel in control of your time, it builds confidence. That confidence changes how you approach the rest of your day and your life.
So if someone listening right now feels like they have no time, what's the first step they should take?
Stop saying, I don't have time. Instead, start asking, where is my time going? That shift in mindset puts the responsibility back on you, and that's where real control begins.
That's such a powerful takeaway. Awareness, planning, protection, and execution. That's the full system, right?
That's it. And without that system, you stay reactive. You stay stuck.
Everything really does link together, doesn't it?
It always does, and that's why it's so important to approach this holistically.
All right, so what's next? What are we tackling in the next episode?
Next, we're breaking down discipline, because you can have the best plan in the world, but if you don't follow through, nothing changes.
That's such a big hurdle for so many people.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to fix next.
If you want to go deeper, the full framework is available inside the Adult Manual. Link is in the description, or search The Adult Manual by Ian Price on Amazon. It's available on Kindle, hardback and paperback, and the audiobook is available from April 2026.